Hey guys, this is just a fun little video to do another Sunday school lesson so that we can keep up. We have been talking about the judges, if you remember, and the judges were like the rulers of Israel. And before we talk about our new judge today, I have my most favoritist box, and inside my most favoritist box, I always keep my most favoritist things. So let's see what we have in our box today. It's my left hand that's in the box. My left hand. Now, can you guys raise your hands if you are right-handed? And then raise your hands if you're left-handed. Are there any people out there who are left-handed? Now, about 10% of people are left-handed. So what that means is, if there were 100 people in the room, 10 of them would be left-handed. So not very many, because 90 would be right-handed. But in our Bible story today, we're going to talk about someone who is left-handed. And his name is Ehud. E-H-U-D. And Ehud was left-handed. So that means, growing up, he had to write with his left hand. He had to work with his left hand. He had to play games with his left hand. But the whole world was designed about being right-handed. So I'm sure Ehud would get plenty frustrated about being left-handed. But God would one day use his left-handedness to accomplish his purpose. So, eventually, the Israelites get conquered by a king named Eglon. What a gross name. And he was a mean, gross guy. Eglon is E-G-L-O-N. Eglon. And he was a wicked king. And he would be so mean to all of the Israelites. Now, Eglon was known for two things. He was incredibly mean, and he was incredibly big. Okay? So if we were to draw a picture of Eglon, we'll put his little crown, and he probably had long hair because that was custom at the time, and he had angry eyebrows for being so mean, and a grumpy face. But then we need to draw him with a big body, because Eglon was big. Okay? And we'll give him his robes that barely fit. Eglon was big. And the only thing he was known for, besides being big, was how mean he was. And we'll draw him sitting on his throne. And his little toes, well, his big toes, and his sandals. Okay? And we'll draw the throne. And some legs for the throne. Okay, so there's Eglon. Now, like the pattern of the judges, eventually Israel cries out to God. And they say, please help us. And so God raised up a judge. And remember, his name was Ehud. And Ehud and some of his Israelite friends came up with a plan. They said, let's go to Eglon and pretend that we have a present for him so that we'll get to go in front of the king. And so they had a fake present, and they went up to the guards and they said, we have a present for King Eglon. Can we deliver it to him? And the guards said, Okay, but we need to check you for weapons first. Now, Ehud had hidden a dagger under his robe on his leg. Now, I just reached for this leg because I'm right-handed. So if I were to put a dagger, I'd put it on this leg because it'd be easier to draw from. Ehud was left-handed, so he put it on the opposite leg. Now when the guards checked Ehud for weapons, they just assumed that everyone, like 90% of the world, is right-handed. So they only checked his one leg, and they didn't find a dagger. So they said, okay, Ehud, you're free to go in. So Ehud and everyone go in front of the king, and they say, King Eglon, we have your gift for you. And they presented the gift. And King Eglon was so happy. And as they're leaving the palace room, Ehud turns around and says, wait, King Eglon, I have a secret message for you, but I can only tell you. And this got King Eglon very excited. And so he ordered everyone else out of the throne room except for Ehud. So now Ehud is alone with Eglon. And when he's alone with him, he pulls out that dagger that he had kept hidden, and he stabs King Eglon. Now remember, killing, not a great thing, but this was an evil king who had killed so many of Ehud's friends and the Israelites. And he wasn't going to stop. So God used Ehud to get rid of the king. But what's crazy is the king was so big that when Ehud stabbed him with the dagger, no one knew that he had been stabbed because the little dagger got hidden inside King Ehud's big body, Eglon's big body. And so Ehud leaves, and as he's leaving, he tells the guards outside the throne room, don't bother him. He said he had to go to the bathroom real quick. And so the guards don't bother him. But when they hadn't heard from King Eglon for a couple of days, they thought, man, he must really be sick. So they finally went into the throne room to check on him. And King Eglon had passed away. And so God used this thing about Ehud, this being left-handed, this thing that had frustrated Ehud for his life, he used it to serve his purpose. And God makes each of us unique in different ways. Maybe some of you are left-handed. Maybe some of you can whistle in unique and weird ways. What we're going to do now, you can pause the video if you need to, but go get a sheet of paper and a pen or a crayon or a pencil, and you're going to make a sheet that's all about you and how God made you unique. So once you've got your paper, at the top of your paper, I want you to write your name. Then below it, I want you to write what your favorite food is. Then I want you to write what your favorite color is. Then you can write what is some place cool that you've been to before. Then I want you to write what is something unique or special about you. Okay? And once you've written those 4 things, that is your sheet that shows how God made you unique and special, just like he did Ehud. And God can use those unique and special things about you to do something amazing. So I hope you know in your heart that God made you special and unique for a special reason that he can use one day to make other people's lives better. And so that's the story of Judge Ehud. Bye, guys.